Hey, Hannah. Just so you know, the paperwork has all been finalized and all the accounts have been divided. You can tell Frank that we're officially divorced. That's great to hear. Thanks, Jenny. I'm just glad to know it's all over. I'm sure Frank will be pleased. Aren't you glad to finally be done with it? It was so embarrassing to watch you snivel and cry over what we all know was a doomed marriage. It must be a relief. I know I'm relieved. After almost 3 months, Frank and I can finally get married. Are you sure that's a good idea? Why would you say that? Are you still jealous that I won and you lost? You probably should just get over it. Take it as a lesson not to try to go after men out of your league. It has nothing to do with that. It's nothing to do with me, actually. What is it then? Didn't he tell you? Frank got fired from his job yesterday. What? Why would they fire him? He was about to be promoted to vice president of sales. You might want to check your sources. That's not what I heard. Why should I check my sources? I, unlike you, actually trust my partner. There's no way Frank is lying to me. Frank was perfectly happy with lying to me about our marriage. And he has a lot of reasons to lie about getting fired. What makes you so special that he's not going to lie to you when he lied to me for so long? I'm special because I'm way prettier than you. He lied to you because you're ugly and awful. If anyone's gonna get fired, it's someone like you. I bet you're just lying about it to cover up the fact that you got fired from your job. Well, it's too late now. No one's gonna want to marry you now that you're penniless and unemployed. Especially Frank. They're gonna just see through your gold digging. So, that's why you went after him. You really should work on that projection of yours. It's painfully obvious. And maybe do your homework before you marry Frank. What are you talking about? I think you have it backwards. I'm the one who is about to get promoted. Frank actually just got let go a few weeks ago as part of a merger between our two companies. Well, it wasn't just the merger. That was just a convenient excuse, I'm pretty sure. Did he not tell you about all this? He didn't tell me any of it because it's all a lie. There's no way you're telling the truth. He was supposed to be next in line for the job. He showed me a letter that recommended him for promotion and everything. Yeah, well, he was at one point. Though that's all been reversed the last I heard. So even if he has a letter or something, he isn't getting promoted anymore. He's lucky he managed to time it for when there were layoffs already coming. Or else they would have just let him go without any severance. He was on thin ice as it was. He would disappear for days at a time to go on trips with you. They were considering firing him before the merger happened, but decided it would look bad if they let him go like that. But why would they fire him? Doesn't his dad own the company? He does, but they haven't been on good terms for a while now. Frank was planning to spin off a competing business of his own and steal a bunch of clients, which made his dad pretty mad. Which I'm guessing didn't help much when they were deciding on who to lay off during the merger. So my guess is that they decided it looked better to have him just step down as part of the merger instead of going through a messy firing. This all sounds so fake. You absolutely have to be making this up. Why would his dad fire his own son? Why don't you ask him yourself? I'm pretty sure he'll tell you exactly what I've told you. Or he'll just keep lying to you. In which case, good luck. You can choose to believe him if you want, but it won't end well for you. Also, just a word of advice. I'd check on his financials before you sign anything. He's going to have some money from the divorce, but there's a good chance it won't stick around for very long. What? Why? You'll figure it out, I'm sure. Let's just say he's accumulated quite a bit of debt from his failed business venture, and he has a few people after him to make sure they get repaid. So I'm pretty sure he won't be able to use that money to take you on trips or pay for all your expensive designer clothes. I don't believe any of this. Also, you might want to ask Frank to tell you about our custody arrangement, since it's pretty likely you're going to be the one taking care of Rebecca when it's his time to have her. You might need to manage his money for him to make sure there's enough to pay the bills, or else he'll lose his custody. There's no way any of this can be true. I thought he was making oodles of cash. He was supposed to be a vice president by the end of the year. Well, that was before everything happened with his father. So you might want to figure all this out now before you make a decision you're going to regret. I can't believe this. After everything I did to win him over. Hi, Jenny. Long time no talk. What has it been? 3 years? Wow, time flies. Anyway, did I see you at the gym the other day? Boy, you look like you've aged 10 years since the last time I saw you. It's a good thing Frank got rid of you when he did. He won't have to remember you as a wrinkled old woman. Unlike me, of course, who will be beautiful forever. Who is this? I don't have your number in my phone. It's Hannah! You know, the woman who stole your husband from you? Oh yeah, I remember you. I think. You're the one who went after my ex-husband thinking he was about to get a big job, but ended up being the reason he got fired since he was off with you instead of at work. That idiot, right? Shut up! You're still just jealous about it after all these years. I bet you just can't get over that I'm still better than you. It's pathetic, really. Sure, whatever. Anyway, what have you been up to for the past 3 years? What happened to Frank? Oh, he's old news. I haven't talked to him in ages, actually. It turns out you were right about everything. He really did basically have nothing. I guess I should be thanking you for that. Or, well, I would, if I didn't think you were the one who probably made it so he didn't get anything. Anyway, I dodged that bullet regardless. I'd say good for you, but it seems wrong to congratulate you for not running off with my ex, especially since you were the one who got him fired. Anyway, what is it that you want? Why are you only just now deciding to annoy me again? Oh, I just thought I should compliment you on your new husband. He's a tasty little morsel. What does that mean? Oh, just that I've been keeping an eye on you. And, well, on him. I saw him with your daughter at the pool a while ago and chatted him up. I'm pretty sure I saw you there too. Or maybe it was your sister. She looked a lot like you, but she was way older. And I just happened to pop by your house when you weren't there the other day and found him all alone. I guess it was fate, really, since I just happened to stumble across your new house with that cute little mailbox outside with your name hand-painted on it. He was so surprised to see me show up at your doorstep. But I'm sure it was a pleasant surprise. It seemed like the first time he's seen a beautiful woman in ages. When did all of this happen? Oh, that was about 6 months ago or so. And I've been seeing him fairly regularly since then. Maybe 3 or 4 times a week. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten tired of me yet, to be honest. As for me, though, I don't think I'll ever get tired of stealing your husbands. I'm not sure that's who you think it is, Hannah. I don't have a husband. I never remarried. Really? Yep. I'm not even dating anyone. So I am not sure who you've been, visiting, but it's no one I know. The only person who's been with my daughter any time in the past 6 months other than me, Frank or her teachers, is her swim instructor. That might be who it was. If you met him at the pool with my daughter, that's the only person I could think that it would be. I know a little bit about him since we've talked a few times. His wife makes quite a bit of money, so he teaches swimming since he used to compete. He still does from time to time, I think. And anyway, even if it were me, I've been working from home for the past few years. So I would have definitely been at home when you were, seeing him. But I don't have a husband regardless, so the man you've been seeing is definitely not someone I'm married to. It's just me and Rebecca living together. No men whatsoever. Do you really think I'm going to believe you? You're just trying to trick me into stopping seeing your husband. It doesn't really matter if you believe it or not, since it's the truth. Whatever. Feel free to tell yourself whatever you need to deal with it. He's mine now either way. You better just hurry up and divorce him before it gets any messier. Just as I thought. You were lying after all. Here we go again with this. You really don't believe me still? I don't really have any other proof for you, so if you don't believe me, I'm not really sure what to tell you. Why would I believe such an obvious lie? Regardless, you've lost. Your husband and I are taking a trip to the Bahamas. He told me that he told you he was going on a trip for work, but he's actually just taking me on an all-expenses-paid beach vacation. We're going to a beautiful resort right on the ocean. If he really was my husband, why are you revealing this to me? It seems like a bad idea to tell the woman whose husband you're cheating with about him whisking you away to a foreign country. Why shouldn't I? This time, there's no way you can interfere. He owns his own company, and you have nothing to do with it. So there's no way you can get him fired or anything like that. And once you two get divorced, I'll be able to marry him and I'll be swimming in cash. Not to mention, I'll have the pleasure of watching your wrinkled old face as you sign a second round of divorce papers. You really need to find a better hobby. Gold digging is something you can only do for so long before your marks dry up. Whatever. You're clearly just desperate to stop me. But I'm not going to stop. I'll win Tom just like I did with Frank. Who's Tom? Tom, like Tom the swim instructor? I guess he does technically own his own company, if you call his swim lessons a company. It couldn't be him, though. There's no way. You really must be confused. Don't act like you don't know. I really don't. Okay, just keep lying. It's whatever. No matter what you do, Tom will divorce you and you'll end up as a single mother again. And I'll get the husband I've always deserved. I almost feel bad for you. It's a shame that it didn't work out this time either. Too bad, so sad. What's the deal, Jenny? What are you up to? Why did you send Tom these fake papers with the wrong name on them? Are you trying to get out of divorcing him? It won't work. What fake papers? Do you still think I'm married to whoever that Tom guy is? I keep telling you he's not my husband and whoever is on those papers isn't me. If it's not you, then who is Megan supposed to be? It must be this Tom guy's wife. My daughter's swim teacher was named Tom, and he has a wife named Megan. So I'm guessing it was him after all. Why are you still making all of this stuff up? Can't you just cooperate for once instead of keeping up the ruse? I continue to not be making anything up. Then who was I dating if it wasn't your husband? Am I the crazy one here? How many times do I need to tell you that it's my daughter's swim teacher? So, why does his wife look like an older version of you? Because Megan is my aunt. What? How? He's so young. Why is he married to her? He's her second husband. Sort of a trophy husband, really. I do see how you could have gotten confused, though. My Aunt Megan looked a lot like me when she was younger. So I guess in some ways, she does look like me a few years down the line. Sometimes people mistake us for sisters, actually. I could see how you'd make that mistake. Then what about the name on the mailbox? Why is your last name on their mailbox? Oh, I own that house. What? But you said there's no way you could be living there. Oh, I know. Because I'm not. I own it, but I'm letting them live there since I'm not using it. I guess they just never bothered to change the name. Not like they'd have any reason to. It's their last name too, after all. What? How? He actually took her name when they got married. I know, it's very modern. Probably too modern for someone like you who runs around stealing people's husbands like your life is some racy 80s movie. But I guess he decided to take her name because Megan's brother is a pretty famous business owner, and our name has a nice ring to it. Well, I guess he was a famous business owner. He retired a few years ago. Right around when the merger happened, actually. Anyway, Tom took our name to make himself look good and to try and suck up to the family. I never did like him that much. I guess he figured he could ingratiate himself to us and get some money from it or something. He never seemed all that interested in working. I see. He's a good swim coach, though. Rebecca likes him well enough. But my uncle is not terribly fond of men who cheat on their wives. Megan isn't either, for that matter. So I'm just going to guess that she is probably not going to be terribly generous when it comes to the divorce settlement. If you were hoping he might be getting a chunk of the family fortune when he breaks it off with my aunt, I am sorry to tell you, but you're sorely mistaken. He'll be lucky to get a single red cent. It's sort of a shame, really. I'm going to have to find a new swim teacher for Rebecca. There's no way he's going to be able to keep working there now that he's not going to have his wife's money anymore. And I have a feeling she's going to be demanding he pay back everything he's spent on all the times he was cheating with you. That trip to the Bahamas didn't sound like it was cheap. He may be in debt for quite a while. Maybe even the rest of his life. What? Really? I thought he was so rich he didn't have to work. She was so rich he didn't have to work. But he's not going to be anything more than an unemployed divorcee here in a minute. The moment he signs those papers, his life is basically over. And there's not going to be anything left for you to steal. You really should take my advice and reconsider this whole gold-digging thing. It seems like you're not that good at it. I can't believe this. After all my hard work, this is all I have to show for it? Is having an affair really hard work? Maybe you should get a job and do some actual work for a change instead of going around wrecking people's lives for fun and profit. Oh, and before I forget, I should probably warn you. You might want to read some of those documents for the divorce. I told Aunt Megan about everything you told me. She requested a copy of our conversations and everything, which of course I provided her. So there's a very good chance you've been named in the settlement. What does that mean? It means that you'll be responsible for some of the payment as well. What? I can't afford that. Should have thought about that before you started the affair. As you once told me. Too bad. So sad. I never really figured out exactly why Hannah tried to steal my husband for a second time. It might have been out of jealousy, or revenge, or even just because she was bored and needed a new source of funds to sponsor her lavish lifestyle. But either way, I have to admit, it was pretty amusing to watch her spiral as the reality of what she had done hit. Tom and my Aunt Megan's divorce was drawn out and messy, and ended in Tom owing the family quite a bit of money to pay for his affair. Hannah didn't get off scot-free either, and Aunt Megan successfully sued her for emotional damages, forcing her to pay a good bit of money just for being involved. While all of this was more or less a drop in the bucket to Aunt Megan and my uncle, I'm sure the satisfaction was worth more than any financial compensation. I heard not long after the divorce was finalized, Tom and Hannah split up. The strain of the divorce proceedings too much for their relationship to bear. Tom managed to find a new job teaching swimming at a rec center a few towns over, but I've been told his life has gone from one of luxury to one of borderline squalor since the divorce. As for Hannah, I haven't kept up with her much, but judging by her recent Instagram posts, she's up to her old tricks again, seemingly not having learned anything. Quite a few selfies taken with a man cropped out of the background have been showing up on her socials, all taken in exotic locales and expensive restaurants. I wonder if she'll ever learn her lesson. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to see more.